July 17th, 2026, Mandy Karolkiewicz took her two adopted 11-year-old daughters to China to know the culture, to see their heritage, and have the time of their life. 6 days later, Mandy, her two adopted daughters, her four biological daughters, and her husband and all of their pets would be dead. Through my entire time of studying true crime, I've studied one offender that I don't, it's just, I can't, it's up to you to figure out. I've been studying it nonstop, a family annihilator. And here in Grand Haven, Michigan, we've had a family annihilator strike again. So without further ado, let's get spooky. Let's get into it. Hi, everybody. My name is Detroit Alley Cat. I didn't want to cover this case when it first came out because I wanted to get more information on what happened because it's going to be a big case. But if you're the first time stopping off to my channel, I do everything true crime, paranormal, spooky, weird, unusual, all the weird things. I'm here for it. But today we're going to talk about Kristopher and Amanda Karolkiewicz. Karolkiewicz. Yeah, they have a good Polish or German last name. Let's just talk about all of the things that we know and what happened. Before we begin, though, I would just like to say the family has publicly came out and said they don't want any speculation. We are going to speculate and we're going to try to do it as respectfully as possible. Amanda has made a Reddit trail for us to watch to give hints as to what happened. And there are some things that we know that have happened with Chris, her husband, that follow the family annihilator pattern. So I'll let you guys make the judgment. Let's talk about first what a family annihilator is. It is simply just that a family annihilator annihilates their complete family. And I want to talk about the different types of family annihilators. There are actually four kinds of family annihilators. The first kind is a self-righteous family annihilator, which means that there are problems in the family, like they're going to get a divorce, there's a custody battle, and they just end it. They end the problem. The second one is anomic. I've never actually heard of that word until today. But anomic means collapse of the family's economy. Basically, the finances of the family are gone. And that I actually think is one of the most common reasons for family annihilations. Number three is disappointed. Your belief that your family is corrupted. Uh, the small amount of women family annihilators, typically, this is their reason for doing what they do. The fourth one is paranoid, that they believe that the state is going to step in or take the family. Someone's going to take the family. They're going to be taken away from each other and a catastrophe is going to happen. I just want to say, you probably can't hear it, but my dogs are once again fighting in the background. So if you see me look in the corner, it's because I'm paying attention to my dogs. Anyway, um, so Kristopher and Amanda, they had been together since 2008 and they met. I write everything down, guys. They met in 2008 and they were both working for a beverage company. This is pretty interesting because Amanda was actually the intern at the company, and you're gonna wanna remember that for a reason. When Chris and Mandy met each other, they immediately started dating each other. August 2009, the couple marries. 2011 to 2026, the family grows to a family of 6 kids, 4 dogs, 1 cat, 1 turtle. Mandy is a substitute teacher. She writes kid books. Christopher becomes the vice president for the National American Heart Association. Now, I had already assumed that Christopher was doing well financially just because they lived in an area called Grand Haven. Grand Haven is like one of the most beautiful areas of Michigan. It is a tourist town. It's right on the lake. In one of Amanda's Reddit, she did like a little vlog. In one of her Reddit vlog posts, she actually posted that it felt like she was living in a Hallmark commercial. And there is no other way to describe Grand Haven. It is beautiful. It's just right on the lake. Michigan, like it or not, is one of the most beautiful states in all the United States. It's just gorgeous. And Grand Haven is a very well-off little city. Very prominent people live there with a lot of money, and I immediately knew when Christopher and Amanda had 6 children, especially because 2 of them were adopted from China, that they had to have some money. Like, they just did, and they do. They had a nice house in Grand Haven, perfect life. Amanda's a very beautiful girl. Christopher was a pretty good-looking guy. She was 39, he was 47. I've heard a lot of people talk about the age gap. I don't know if that's a really big age gap, especially in their life right now. I do know that there were some problems. Let's get into the problems. So there's been a lot of like investigative work as to what happened. Well, here's the facts of what we know. We know in July, Christopher had been let go from his job. We haven't heard anything else. Nothing else has been released to the public like he was fired. They said let go. And that can mean a bunch of things. I think he was fired personally, but he was let go in July. And I think that that has a lot to do with it. Also, when Amanda wrote her Reddit vlog, it spanned, I think, around 10 years. And she basically wrote about how her life seemed like it was so perfect, but it wasn't perfect. And that she felt like, she had to keep her life together for the children. But she also talked about how her husband had infidelity problems and that he had had an affair with an intern, and that she knew that that was kind of his type because she was an intern, and when she met him, he was recently divorced and she was the intern. And then later down the line, he had met an intern and had an affair with her, and she was the same person he had an affair with was the same age as Amanda was when Christopher first met her. I hope you're tracking. So, a man Christopher basically cheated on Amanda with another intern, and when Amanda met Christopher, she was the intern. I hope that makes sense for you. I know sometimes you guys say that I go in different directions and it can be confusing. So they decided to go together, and this is all according to Amanda's vlog. If you want to find it, it is on Reddit and it is Mandy. I wrote it down. Mandy K. Gotta find where I wrote it down. Mandy K 1006. She actually had a couple of different Reddit profiles, but the one that was Mandy K 1006 was actually the one that had her entire vlog. Okay. Well, it's Mandy K 1006. If I have to change it for you, I will. So she basically wrote that once she had found out that there were infidelities with her husband, they decided to go to counseling, and she started actually like it was almost like a diary in the Reddit. I don't do Reddit. So you guys probably do Reddit so you can keep me informed. There was a whole subreddit and she kept like track of everything they talked about in the counseling and all the problems and everything they had going on. And she basically talked about how he cheated on her. She never specified if it was emotionally or physically. And she said that she felt like he bullied her and she felt like he tried to control her life, but they were going to work together. She also said, interesting enough, that she pushed him and that she wasn't sorry for it because she felt like he deserved it. And then 11 months prior to the incident, the subreddit went completely quiet. However, it's still on there. I don't know if they've taken it down, but this is all the stuff according to her subreddit. Uh, they had 6 children, which I've said before. 2 were adopted. They were both 11 years old, the girls, Carolina and Ella, which I think is so sad because that means that they adopted these children from China and they were expecting to have another life, like a better life, and they ended up having this situation happen. They had 4 boys, 15-year-old, 12-year-old, 11-year-old, and 5-year-old, and, um, they suspect that Amanda was murdered first. The the weapon that was used was a handgun that was registered to Christopher. Uh, I don't know why. They think that he took care of Amanda first, but they do. Then the children were all killed in separate rooms, and then there were fires set in various parts of the house. They're not talking about what the accelerant is, they're not talking about any of that, but they are saying that there were fires, and the a date of the event was actually late July 23rd, early July 24th, and on July 24th at 9 a.m., Ottawa County got a phone call saying that there was smoke in the area and firefighters had to go respond. They went to the house and they put out a fire and they found all of the children and the adults dead. At about 11:54 p.m., they called the sheriff's had announced that it was an ongoing homicide investigation. So that's what we have. There is some more information too. Uh, the father, Amanda's father, says he loved all of the kids very much, and in a way, he still loves Christopher, which I'm guessing he's going through a lot right now. And that I also know that Amanda had a stepbrother in 2020 that actually died of an overdose. The family is probably facing a lot of emotions. I also know because of Amanda's subreddit vlog that they were estranged from Christopher's family for some reason. They said that they had a volatile relationship and there were toxic behaviors. This is all according to Amanda's vlog. So there's perspective and there's fact, and all of that is gonna come out, and I really do believe that this is gonna be a really big case that's gonna be covered, and a lot of things are gonna come out, so right now, everyone's just kind of trying to put everything together, but if I was to do a estimate of what I actually think happened, I think that Christopher was fired from his job, and he had such a put together perfect little life, as Amanda said, a Hallmark type life, that when he was fired, it was just embarrassing that he didn't have the money to support his family, and they were already having problems, and there was already probably stress. And so, rather than face the fact that there was a financial collapse of an economy and he didn't know how he was gonna take care of his family. In his head, he thought, "I'm just gonna take everybody out and end it," which that is classic family annihilators MO. And most family annihilators are men. And I would really say most family annihilators are financially motivated. And the thing is that I don't think he, killed the animals. I think he set the fires, and the fires actually killed the animals, and I think that's really just horrible. Cause like, couldn't you have just, like, let the animals go? But, like, I also feel that way about the kids too. It's a really sad case. It's, very, very traumatic. Um I don't know. It's very new, and it's hard to tell you all the information because we're just getting this information right now. In fact, all of the articles and all of the things that I have found literally is like 3 minutes of information. So, I just wanted to cover this case because I thought that as the case continues to be investigated, more and more things are gonna come out about it, and I'm gonna do a full case coverage, but I've given you the facts. I think it's really sad that they had 6 kids, 15, 12, 11, 5, and 2 11-year-old girls, 4 dogs, 1 cat, and 1 turtle, and, gone. Gone. All I can think about is Chris Watts for some reason. I don't know if you guys know who Chris Watts is, but he's a very classic case of a family annihilator. Except I think that he thought his family was like ruined, and it was also financially motivated. He did away with his family, but he didn't commit suicide. He tried to like start over with another woman. Yeah, this is really messed up, guys. And it's crazy because you would think that looking at this family, like, they were really, like, everything anybody could ever want, like, the perfect house, the perfect kids, the perfect life, and it just shows you, you really don't know what's going on inside of somebody's house because all of these things are coming out and nobody knew it. And that's the other thing is like a lot of their friends and family in Grand Haven are saying nobody would have expected this and nobody thought anything was wrong. I think these people just put on the perfect image and just continued like nothing was going on. Like if you would have seen the pictures of Amanda with her 2 11-year-old kids in China, you would have been jealous, like, I wish that was me, and just to think 6 days later, they would be all dead. So, yeah, that's it. I know I covered it really fast, but, like, I also don't wanna go on and on about something I don't know the extreme facts about, like, I do wanna cover, like, what Amanda's family life was like, what Christopher's family life is like, but everything is kind of private right now because it's just came out. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the little bit of information that I could give you. Thank you for watching. Think about subscribing, leaving a like, leaving a comment, and have a beautiful day. As always, stay safe, stay spooky. And if you ever see something that you're not sure of and it feels weird with a family, don't hesitate to say something to somebody because you never do know. All right. Have a wonderful day. Bye.